Hello everyone, nice to see you. This is episode 12 of Project 2 of The Joy of Functional Game Dev. The GitHub release, there was no change in between the end of episode 11 and the start of episode 12, so v0.11. That's all we need to talk about that. And we need a Trello board, and we have a we still don't have a game. We're 12 episodes and we don't have a game. The first project, the first day we had, here's a game. We've been mostly p invoking, and that's not bad. And there's a certain value to going. Hey, this is a difficult thing to do. Interacting with native things is non-trivial, and it is not. But so I was playing colonization last night. I recorded some of it. You can watch me flail around at that too. And so what I want is ocean. I want boat, island. This is what I want to do. And all these things, I don't know, fishing, and all right, we got. And searching for home, searching for a home, and that's how we get the key in there. So this is just broad, general idea. This is what I want to be doing. So let's get going with that. So we've got all of this stuff going on. This is our grid rendering the grid. But you see, there's a lot of stuff going on here. But all right, beyond that, so we have cell location and a cell map. This is not what I want to do here, because I've got other things to do besides let's give me a cell map of a cell. So the grid that I render, and we'll even, can I rename that? Can I call it render grid? It's not the same thing as a grid of, make sure that all works correctly, because also I may be broken with the cell map. What? Is this going to work? My goodness. I love when things work. So these things, so cell location, and we're also going to call this a render cell color. That's what we're going to do. Render cell color. Alright. We're even going to call this one, a render cell. Because this is very specific. These are, as a matter of fact, where shall they go? So I got a render grid. That's just, this is what I want to render on the grid. But more importantly, I need to abstract somewhat from what these things are. Okay, it's not explaining very well. But all right, this is show this character with this foreground color with this background color, but that's not the thing. I'm not dealing with entities that are a character that's particularly colored with a particular background color. I'm dealing with a boat. I'm dealing with a with my character. And speaking of, I'm going to start getting in here, and I'm going to replace a few of the graphics. So what I want to do is up through character. So this is character 0, and it goes all the way through 127. All of these I use quite a lot. They will be used for text. Some of these other ones may also be needed for text. So what I want to do is I want to find a spot where I can say, all right, I will start using you. So these are useful for foreign characters. Foreign characters. How very American of me to say foreign. All right. Non-ENUS characters. As are these, but I don't think there's a sufficient ability to actually render everything into Greek. And as a matter of fact, a lot of these probably not getting used, and for whatever reason, well, I know the ASCII character set predated the existence of the euro, and that's why you won't find that amongst these fine symbols. So let's zoom in here. And let's take a look. What I want to do is I want to go give myself a nice working area. And I want it, I don't want anti-aliasing. I want a brush width of 1. I want the filled shape. So many things. All right. It's 9 by 8, 8 by 8. Okay. I'm gonna draw a little character. And this is gonna be well, that's fine. We can deal with this. All right. Let's switch these so that. Okay. This is our character. Character has one more hand there. I'll leave it like so. Anything else? Oh, I don't know. Leave it that way for now. I will make that 0, 0, 0. Oh. Fill that right on in. Why did I use the magenta, you ask? It's so that I can block out the area where I'm working. Yes, I could have just put a selection around it. Not an art guy. So, so character 240. I think I do want blocky head. Character 240 is our person. Verify that, yes indeed. Yep, there's our person. And actually, while I'm at it, let's put it in red this time. So at position 8 and position 120. Yep. That's 7 by 8, 8 by 8. Okay, I need a boat. I don't need a good boat. I just need something that gives the notion that there is a boat. And the boat should have a sail. It's not enough to be a good looking sail. In fact, it can be the awfulest looking boat. And it's pretty close to the awfulest looking boat ever. There we go. And it's a boat. Alright. Yes, sir. Good enough for now. That's a boat. Some of the worst stuff in the world. This I am not an artist. This should be patently obvious. Oh wait, where's my color? Need my colors. Where's my windows? Oh, they move stuff. It's so much better this way. I have come to the realization, although it happens to everyone, to be like, oh, yep, you know what? I can figure out anything. I'm a computer guy. I'd figure stuff out on computers. And now I'm just like, where'd my buttons go? Things happen so quickly. And that's not bad. But I've used Paint.net for quite some time. For more than 10 years now. And alright, there's our round font. Hey, look, yep. And I got a boat. It's a boat. Now for my water, I can use this one and this one. And these can be blue. Alright. So let's get one map. So call this one water, and we'll call this one no, water 1, water 2, whatever. As a matter of fact, let's just have this one type of water here, and that's going to be character 126. Alright. So let's get some things going on here. And in my game states, I'm going to have a render grid, but I'm also going to have a map type map cell equal. I'm going to go with a boat. I'm supposed to go with water. We'll shallow go water, deep water, and that's my terrain, water and deep water. So this one will be the tilde, and this one will be the terrain, and then type map. It's an object. So the terrain is more or less the background. There's going to be a map object, map. So I want to differentiate. I'll call you a map object. Well, that's in other games I would have called this a creature. Boat. So there's only one of those. And then type map cell is a record that has terrain, which is a map terrain, and in object, which is a map object option. Could be none, in which case we don't render anything. Alright. An object could be an item, it could be a person, and then we're also going to then have, we'll just start with one. So we're going to need one cell column for where the, do I really need it? Because what I'm going to do, so perhaps I just need another, here's my map grid, which is a cell map of map cells. And for the moment, we're going to say, well, because now she's not going to compile at all. Just want to get us moving around the board. Map grid. I don't want a map grid. Game state map grid. Okay, and I need, that's my initial render grid. I'm going to rename this initial render grid. And actually that's going to be just map.empty. Because we've proven we can render stuff. Actually then, map.empty. And it's going to be map grid equals shell map. Okay, so initial map. There was a break right there. I had to go upstairs for a minute. Alright, so initial map need to have a function. Well, not a function. You gotta have a let binding. Initial map equal map.empty of cell location map cell. That's what we're going to start with. And we've got in our 320 by 240, and divide these by 8, so it's 40 by 30. But I want to have a thing on the side. So 30 by 30. My map is going to be 30 by 30. And let's put that constant somewhere. Let's have a map. Let map width equals 30 cells. And let map columns map rows equal 30 cells. All right. So we can do. So I wonder something. Can I do a thing where I go 0 cell dot map columns? I don't know. I don't really know what map columns is. Map columns is not defined. Do I need to bring in game state? I got game state. I need build. No. Alright, well maybe I can. So let's get -1 cell. What do you not like? Does that match the type int? Yeah. Yeah. This is where it breaks down. See, I don't want to do a fork. I want to do a fold. I really do. So 0 dot to map columns divided by 1 cell -1. Is that going to fly? Sequence dot fold. Fun map column. This is going to be another outer inner. Outer map column. Alright, and this is going to have a, we say outer map is what I'm going to return, then we're all cool. Right. Alright. Okay. But now we want to go 0 dot map rows. One cell plus one sequence dot fold. That's gonna be fun. Inner map row. Inner map. Outer map. Oops. Change the cell. Alright. So that should, it really does kind of some nothing. Alright, so that then goes over there. So it's a rather confusing construct, but it's just like the one we did before, except now we're building a map. First, we're also going to let random equal new system.random. Oof. That very C# you have me. And if what we're going to do is we're going to so I've got the location. And we're basically going to do the let terrain equal match random next to with 0, 1, or anything that goes. And that's going to be water or deep water. This, I'm going to make this into an actual enum. At first, I did not like what's the difference between, when I was looking first at enums in F# and discriminated unions, I'm like, why would I ever use an actual enum? And I've thought about it quite a bit, and I've got a reason why I want to use them. And that reason is exactly this. So right now I have to put map terrain dot deep water water. I have to put this. If it were a discriminated union, I would just have to put deep water because it's part of the module. But here I actually have to specify that one's deep water and that one's water. And this helps me because it's sort of like a sub namespace for an enum. And I like that. And at least until I change it, that's what I'm going to do. Isn't that brilliant? At least until I change it. So now I got inner map. At this point, I know that there are no what are we on? We're on a map. Map.add. And map.add needs an A and a B. An A is a cell location, and a map cell is a map cell. So terrain equal terrain object equals 1. That's going to be column equals column times 1 cell. Row times 1 cell. To my map, I'm going to add this terrain and no object on there. And the next thing that I want to do is let's make our deep water a bit more rare. So 1 out of 4 is going to be the deep water. So now we have a map of these things, and now in render, perhaps even in game state, I need a let terrain render cells equal. So I have to make a sequence. So this is going to be my mapping. So when I say map terrain dot water, I need character, I don't know, foreground render cell color dot. I think the foreground needs to be dot render cell color dot blue. Blue. Background render cell color dot light blue. Something's going on here that it doesn't like. Unmatched that. Unmatched one of those. But you are equals UIs. Light blue, bright blue. So let's have that one. We're working on just getting the, let's render a field of water, and we'll go from there. But in order to do this, I need to know my water was 126, which is 7E. So 0x 7E. And then we go back over to here, and I'm going to use this one, which is F0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. F7 is that guy. F7. So the terrain render cells map of sequence. So my terrain render cells are a map of map terrain to render cells. So now when I'm going through my play state map with my renderer, so not during draw. This is not during draw. This is during update, because during draw we never actually modify things. So only here, whenever I am, and I don't have that yet, I need an on idle. Let private on idle state game state. Give me a game state option. Equals. It's going to return some state. And really what we want to do is we want to take state and on idle it. So now, provided there is not an event happening, we will idle. And one of the things that we need to do, we need to clear our map grid. state with not the map grid, the render grid. With render grid. Where are you? There you are. Render cell. With a render grid that is well, really, why don't I just do the let render grid equals map empty cell location render cell with render grid equal render grid. But you do, don't you? You have a render grid. The state is this. Dot. Right. Okay. Let private on idle play state. State. And what's the state going to be there? It's going to be a play state. Game state option equal state play state sum. That should be alright. Okay. Alright. Doing some weirdness because I do have a discriminated union that does this. So with render grid. Now that'll be fine. What we want to do here is match state with. How many do I have? I just have play state. So play state X will have me send X to on idle play state. And there's gonna have to be a way for things to be multiplexed here as well. I either have to do it here or not sure. Anyway. It's a thing. Alright. I'll have to think on these things. So, we're going to clear out the render grid, but that's not really what we're going to do. But we're going to take our okay. Alright. So that's actually our state. What we're going to do is we're going to take state dot map grid. We're going to fold. That's a map, so map dot fold. So fun render grid cell location and we got a map cell. That's got to return a render grid. And so, alright. So we're going to fold it. We're going to fold. Take the map grid. We're going to fold it with the render grid, starting that off as nothing, and what we're going to do to the render grid is for each location, we got map cell. We're going to do render grid, and we're going to map.add cell location, and I got to find. It's going to be map grid dot where's my map terrain? My terrain render cells. Render cells dot of map cell dot terrain. Of course, so where's that? Or have I not built it? So then on idle play state, it's going to take it. Oh, it's building. So if this is all working, then what I should see is my oceanic field. And I do. Maybe deep water and see, now we're getting to the aesthetic. So 1 in 10 chance. Now what do we look like? All right. So that's enough stuff on there. Now I want my initial map. And at this point we've got I want to do a map. I'm going to need a function that allows me to place a boat it's a so it's going to be a cell map cell. Okay, let set terrain a map terrain a cell map. I need a location. Cell location. That we're also gonna let set object cell location. Map object cell map. It's going to return my cell map is a cell map was a map cell, and that is what it returns. The map terrain is of course a map terrain. Map object is a map object. This one I may actually decide to make a discriminating because the boat. We'll leave it for now. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. And this one's going to be a cell location. Cell location is a cell location. So that is that. So what I do is I take let original location or original cell equals cell map, So it's going to be cell map dot try find cell location. All right. So I'll it'll return me so really locatoin, not cell locatoin. So original cell, we try to find it. If it's some, then we need to replace the terrain. We're going to leave the object. If it is none, we're just going to create a brand new one. And actually, let's just go let new cell equal if original cell is some, then else. So if it's something, then original cell dot original cell. I'm spelling it right, aren't I? Dot the dot value with map cell with terrain equals map terrain. Right? Otherwise, terrain equals map terrain. Object equals none. Okay, so now we got the value of new cell. And we return cell map.add, cell location, new cell. So, okay. It attempts to find the original location. It may not. So it could really. This could be written a different way, but it's relatively clear here. So I set the terrain like so. See, and then what happens? So I could have just said, hey, okay, go get it, and if it's out of bounds, you explode. As a matter of, ooh, what's going on here? Map.add cell map. So what's this problem? Oh, because we're not done. All right. For this one, let original cell be cell map cell location. If you don't find it, explode by all means. Oops, this has to be a map object option. We're going to do let new cell equal original cell with object equal map object. And then cell map do the thing. And the cell is new. All right. Really, okay, so set terrain, set object. So now I can say set object. Where we go? What are you angry about? See, it seems to be fine. So at this point, initial map is a we're going to do this. We're going to add the boat. We're going to set the object. So need location, map object, cell map. Cell map is what I'm passing, so map object is just going to be some boat. What's the name of the function? Call it. Okay. Set object. Column equals random dot next times one cell. Row equals random dot next times one cell. So this thing goes in. Some boat. We gotta wrap the sum in there. Okay, but random next, that's not right. So I need to have my width. It's map columns. So here's the big downside of using units of measure for everything. For the things that don't use units of measure, I have to constantly do this stuff. Or really what I ought to do is have a wrapper function that wraps different value map rows. And really, when I'm rendering, I need the renderer. Well, not the renderer. Where are we at? We're in the event handler. When we're handling idle, it needs to add at the cell location render cell for map cell. I need a render cell for map cell function. So render cell for map cell. Let render cell for map cell. I need a map cell. And then map cell, which is a map cell. Give me a render cell. I'm going to need let object render cells equal b. And this needs to be a boat. It's a map object boat. And my graphic is F1. This is F1. And the foreground color will be brown because it's a boat. Render cell for map cell. So I don't know how to do good pattern matching here. But in any case, okay, so if map cell dot object, we'll do a match. Match map cell dot object with some x. This would be a map of sequence. Some X. Direct render cells X. Untrain render cells dot map cell. Actually, do this map dot train. All right, so render cell for map cell instead of cool. Now, still not here. Render cell for map cell, map cell. Got to parenthesize cell location, and I'm going to get the render cell for the map cell. So we'll do this. I think that's where we haven't compiled yet. If I know what I'm doing, then there's a ship. There's a ship. I got a ship on there. It's an ugly ship. It's an ugly ship on an ugly ocean. But it's our ugly ship on our ugly ocean. And it's looking for its home. And the problem is, it can't move. But I'm not going to move it today. Today I've got this done, and that's gonna have to be good enough for today. Cause fading fast, folks. I can't keep it going much longer. So thanks for coming along on this journey with me. As always, keep that joy of functional game dev alive in your heart, and we will see you next time.